down to the bottom right, it's Dark, the purple Zerg.
And up to the top left, his opponent, it is, of course, Stats.
We do have this attack coming in. It's going to be about 8 Zealots, 2 Archons, but everything is prepared here, as well as that Spine Crawler for Dark.
Okay, he's got a lot of Hydras here. They just need to kite back the Spine Crawler in position. Dark, very well prepared against this. It looks like the Hydra's is going to chew through the Zealots, and sure, 10 drones go down here. But he needs to get ready to evacuate the rest of this Protoss army. Going to go for the Warpman here. Not sure about this one. Going to maybe cause him to lose these Archons. The Oracles go down here, and sure, he killed the drones, but this was a very expensive investment here for Stats.
He lost so much in that trade. All the Zealots, the double Oracle. He might even lose some Archons on his way out. That's going to get very, very close to going down. Looks like he might just barely get away with that one. But everything's taken out, and you can see that Dark, he's not following up with an attack. He has the 4th hatchery. He has miles of room now.
He just does need to make sure he splits against the Storms. With the Lurkers, specifically the Hydras, are not going to be able to last very long, splitting or no, but the Lurkers, if they're spread, can do so well against this. And the Charged Zealots here are going to be so terrible against this AoE. And look at this position now. Not split, but no Storms.
No Storm here. We'll see if he can get close enough. Good Storms to start. A lot of the Hydras being shut down, and huge follow-up Storms onto that back line of the Lurkers. Is there enough of a follow-up, though? He has one more Storm. Lots of weak Hydras here.
The Lurkers, they do survive the lasting Storms. Does have the Observer here to finally clear this up. And we're going to late game, like supreme late game. Greater Spire's coming up, but Fleet Beacon to match it. So we're kind of reaching the same point of high-tier tech for both players, and neither stands at a massive advantage, right? I mean, this is a pretty close late game, one of our closer games this evening, or we're getting to that late game, and no one's got their hand tied behind their back. They took different paths to get here. Everything is looking good here for Stats to deal with the late game era army. But it's going to be about late game mobility, harassment, who's going to get the better ends of the Ling run-bys versus the Zealot harass with the Prism. And snipes like this are going to be very scary because of the recall potential with this Mothership.
Yeah, and the one thing that's missing for Dark too is Vipers. He has no way to grab that Mothership out of the air. He has no way to grab stuff like the Tempest or the Carriers in the future. He's totally forgone that for now. And but yeah, I think he just wants that supreme late game army, and he will be allowed to do it as Stark is not going for any kind of attack.
Remember the mobility I was talking about, the Prism harass, Zealots, DTs here. This is going to be, I think, what wins the war in the long term. We could talk about unit compositions all night, but if +3 weapons is allowing snipes of big tech structures, that could be a changing factor here. The Hive survives with Transfuse. The Ultralisk Cavern might have been the better target here, but he's doing so much with this. And Dark, what is his Lurker run-by attacks really? What have they really accomplished? Not as much. The Protoss is finding more value here. You know, what will he neural? Maybe, sure, the Mothership is the obvious one, but beyond that, is he going to try and roll some Archons to get that AoE done? I suppose he could make an argument for that. I don't think we're going to see him neural a probe and then make a Protoss army, right? Like, that's not happening. Let's see how effective this ends up being. It's just the Fungals for now, no neural usage. Big Fungals, though. And here come the Corruptors, but the Storms are so much better.
The Neural Parasite for about 0.5 seconds doesn't really do much. The Fungals are not that effective either, as those very effective, or expensive rather, gas units coming in. That's what I wanted to see.
So,
the yank.
Okay, he neuraled the Mothership and got 2 Time Warps off on the ground to waste the energy, so no recall, but could have just yanked it and killed it anyways, right? Maybe he prevents the recall there, but either way, it ends up being more effective for the yank versus that Neural Parasite. The Mothership is killed. It is being rebuilt, of course. But it's a more efficient fight for the Protoss, who has the better upgrades. And we're seeing the Void Ray switch here. He wants to deal with not only, because he's won the Broodlord War, the potential Ultralisk switch, but also deal with the Corruptors. Because as we talked about, the Tempest, sure, they can deal with the Broodlords, but are not as good at dealing damage to everything else. The Carriers are. The Carriers' one weakness now, no longer the Hydra with the good upgrades and even the armor coming out, but it's the fear of the Corruptors. And that's why we see those Void Rays coming out. Just 6 of them, but that can help turn the tide with their prismatic alignment turned on, doing so much to armored units. The bank of the bank of Dark is very much smaller than Stats right now.
We're getting multiple Fungals actually on the High Templar on the bottom. Can't really see them, but I think he killed a bunch. Let me actually take a look at the unit tab. Yeah, there's no more High Templar. There were like
killed
5
all of them,
or 6 of them in there. So a very good trade now, as those storms would have been very, very effective against all the corruptors. He's got 24 in the sky, and now after taking out those High Templars, he wants to go for the attack.
Where are the Void Rays here? Okay, there they are on the left side. They're going to go ahead and prismatic alignment. The corruptors just can't fight this. The Ultras on the ground aren't going to do anything to the air battle. The Hydras do start to whittle away on these interceptors, though.
There's no storm. There's nothing to deal with the corruptors. He took out the one counter to those corruptors. Now we're trying to get to work on those carriers. They're still extremely strong, but one by one they will fall. These very expensive air units for Protoss. It looks like Dark is going to take this fight just barely.
Yeah, just barely. There's not enough Void Ray damage there. The last carrier will fall. These Zealots coming over here to try to push the Ultras away, but it's still not going to be what protects these Tempests now that are under attack by corruptors. Queens coming through. Void Rays coming in for the flank here, but there's a lot of Queens. We'll need to take those out first here. Cannons again, just buying time. Archons buying time here. He's trying to make the Immortal switch back at home. He's got a large mineral bank. That's why he's making so many Zealots. The gas bank, though, quickly depleting here for stats. Needs to keep these Void Rays alive. He needs a critical mass of them, so trying to continue to fight here to save this base feels futile. Now that the Void Rays are together, he can fight the Corruptors. And we're going to see some bait tactics here for Dark. He's trying to bait out the prismatic alignment, because then he can win the fight if it's not active. Also, building those Vipers, they're expensive. He barely has any gas left, but if he can keep them alive with good transfuses and good positioning, then eventually that energy is going to get him massive value against the Void Rays, against the Mothership that's now back online.
Take a base himself.
Okay, this is not a fight that Dark wants to take unless he has Infestors here. If he can get the money fungals off on these Void Rays, they won't last very long, but he's just going to sweep away.
Don't do any damage.
Yeah, but he's going to come over here and sweep away. I don't know if Dark should try to commit to this Nexus or not with the Immortal here as well, doing so much damage. The Voids could clean up these Ultras. He's actually being indecisive. Recalls here is going to look to snipe the base and save a base. Left half of his units to kill this base down here. Well, I say half, but it's a ragtag group of Zealots. So a smaller one.
Those are some damn good Zealots, man. They've been around for a while.
But they got the base. He got the base and he saved a base. So 2 big wins here for stats.
You need to get them down before the Vipers die, or else you're going to have a hard time winning this fight. Oh, coming in and sniping that Mothership. That's a cool move.
Snipe. That was really well done. Dark is going to take that 6 o'clock base I was talking about. He's going to look to go for the snipe here on this base. Stats cannot afford to lose his gas.
This is a big base. He's going to take it down in mere seconds as Stats, he's just not in position. Not confident to take that fight right now, but now he's on the chase. Looking to take down these Ultras. Takes out one. Can he get another one on the chase? That's the real question. Gets to second. Not sure how well he can chase after that. Just going to take 2, but again, another valuable base taken out by Dark.
Here would definitely hurt Dark, but they're not the crux of his army anymore. It's the Broodlords, and how can you really deal with this anymore? With only a few High Templar, massive Corruptor fallback, and if the Void Rays go into engage, they're going to put themselves into position against the Fungals. I think the only thing Stats can maybe really hope for here is to try to use a great a Void Ray split. I think he's going to have to spread his Voids, and then maybe if the Fungals just don't stack enough, he could take a fight, but it's going to be so hard. 9 Infestors here.
Going for the Fungal.
Hits the probes.
Yeah, going for the probes. I mean, he has so much energy here that he can expend. It would have been nice to get the Mothership at the same time, but not going to work out there. And coming in now, trying to do his own harass here is Stats. And Dark, it looks like he's thinking about taking that fight down here at the bottom. But on the chase here is
this
Stats.
is a nice catch. Where are the Infestors? Okay, here they are. He got baited, and this means parasitic bombs, and that is going to be game over. Watch the Protoss army burn here. As down go the Void Rays. Some of them survive, but they're so low. The Corruptors coming in here for the finishing blows. Nothing left here in terms of workers for Dark, but I don't think it's going to matter because his army is now basically undefeatable. Ultras here are going to try to go for the base trade, but all it's going to take is a few units coming back. Is there any way he can actually win the race with these Immortals? I just don't think so. Nope. Corruptors do damage to buildings, man. And
that they do, and they do it very fast in this high of a number. So goodbye to your last mining Nexus Stats. Dark doesn't have one either. There is still minerals and gas down towards the bottom left. Dark, if he wanted to play it ultra safe, could just go back and retake those bases and just eventually max out and kill Stats, but doesn't have to do that. Thinking about taking this attack in the middle of the map here. Going for the fungals, and he's going to get it.
Yeah, Broodlord's up here on the high ground too. The Archons can't get on top of them, even though it's only 3 Broods. He just flies over the high ground. Archons get outranged, and now he's just going to pick them off. Good micro here from Dark.
That was close, though. You don't want to just give away your Broodlords in this situation. You're not going to win with only Corruptors in this game. Need to have these Broodlords do the eventual damage to this army. There's not much left on the ground here for Dark. He has 24 Corruptors. That's about it. Besides that, he has 28 Lings.
Ooh, and these Lings are not going to do very well against the Zealots, actually. A great choice of warp in here for stats. Broodlords get caught.
Oh,
is this going to be the comeback here? He gets one of the Broodlords.
He might. He's getting it. He's going to follow it up.
He's going to get all of them.
Hero Archon is on the chase. He's going for it. Goodbye, Mr. Broodlord. You and your buddies are going down.
And remember, though, Ultralisk, there's one left that's going to be killed straight up in a fight against the Immortals. No Void Rays left. The Lings kill buildings very quickly. The 24 Corruptors kill buildings very quickly. And then Infestors can make infested Terrans. When Immortals kill buildings so incredibly fast. He's got Photon Cannons here as well. Dealing with those is going to take the Ultras. It's going to take infested Terrans. Static defense for Dark. Let's check it out here. 8 Spine Crawlers, 5 Spore Crawlers. The Immortals can make simple work of those. And he doesn't have an army to deal with these. If he kept the Broodlords alive, they could defend this alone. But now, he's just going to march across the map. He's going to put the onus on Dark to try to kill his bases. He knows he has the Photon Cannons. Those there at the choke point. Sure, it's only 4 of them, but it's going to be so effective.
Oh, okay, Neural! The Neural! He's going to focus it down. The Neural is coming back here in the end of the game. This is actually going to help out Dark hugely.
What a crazy game this has become. I thought we were dead over when the Void Rays went down.
Okay,
but he's trying to fight back.
Immortals coming in. Those Infestors, they're pretty low on energy now.
He needs to save them. Just going to grab one here, but the Observer's here. He didn't realize it. Should not have been this aggressive. He need to somehow find a way to kill the Observer. Has 5 Overseers here, but cannot rebuild Infestors, cannot save them. Looks like he wants to go for the base trade.
He wants the Observer here. He wants to get that Observer. He's on the chase. Okay, here we go. Should be an easy pick-off.
Yeah, but I don't know if he has enough time to kill these with the limited energy. He's going to have to use these Corruptors to try to kill the Photon Cannons.
They're going for this pylon of the cannons. Here we go.
Here we go. He needs to get these pylons down. If he can get those down or just kill the cannons, then the Ultras and the Lings can do so much damage so quickly. One Mutalisk being built right now as well. Okay, this is getting nuts. He's mining a few minerals, getting a few more Zerglings out. And here comes the attack now at the natural. Those cannons are down. Will he send his units home? It's an all-out race now, and even though Corruptors don't normally attack buildings, this is becoming one of the most key factors in this game we are watching right now. 1 Archon and 7 of those Immortals are left alive here. He has to somehow win the race with that. I don't know if it's doable, and we thought maybe the Archons would bring the comeback, but it's the Neural Parasite that defends here against the Archons.
The Infestors are coming in and there's no detection. They're just going to walk by those Archons. You can see it on the minimap as the Corruptors. Here we go. Yeah, they could just take down this Archon, and it looks like in the end this should be the game for Dark. There it is. Who would have thought the Neural at the end of the game would win this one for Dark?
In a 37-minute game, it looks like we are finally out. The Mutalisk can defend those Ultras alone, or the Immortals alone.
What a game!
And they're just going to come back here. He's trying to get the last of the buildings. Well, he actually will need to make some Lings. You have to argue, right, to eventually deal with these, because these are killing it so quick. He doesn't know about the base to the bottom that's mining. He doesn't know about it. The Corruptors can't actually defend it. Wait a minute, how many units do we have left on the here for the Zerg? 12 Zerglings and the 1 Muta? It's going to take a while to kill that. He's going to need to use Neurals. He finds the Immortals here. Neural will have to kill these. Shields down. Broodlings doing damage. He's hiding Extractors. I just don't think the Immortals can make it happen. They kill buildings so quickly, but he doesn't know about the base to the bottom.
It's too far away, right? The map is too big, and eventually, these are the last of the Protoss buildings. It looks like the Corruptors in the end of the game are going to be able to finish this off.
Yeah, he has the Spine Crawler protected over here as well. There's the Neural. Stats, hands off the keyboard. 38-minute game. Neural Parasite is the decider. What a crazy one we've watched. It's been a great night of matches. We're not even done yet, but there's the defeat. GG. Dark takes the game.